Welcome to the One to Another podcast. My name is Joanne. Today we're going to talk about getting through the holidays. It won't be long until we'll be hearing silver bells and they're going to be ringing everywhere. But those who are grieving are only aware of the terrible hole in their hearts and in their lives. Knowing the intense pain of the holiday season, I wanted to share some helpful thoughts which might help you and your family make the holiday season easier. You know, you have to come to grips with the fact that there will be pain during the holidays. So don't deny yourself the gift of healing tears. Tears on the outside fall to the ground and slowly wash away. Tears on the inside fall on the soul, and they stay and stay and stay. So we need to take time to cry. We need to take time to be sad. Honor your feelings of grief. You know, we have this emotional roller coaster we're on, and you'll have those good times, and then you have those times where you're just full of grief. Well, you just need to honor that. It's because so often we're in a hurry. We don't want to take the time to feel what we need to feel. We want life to be better right now. So I want to say to you, do what you can this season and let it be enough. Give yourself the permission to do nothing. Save your tears for those moments when you know you need to let them out. And then maybe once you decide that you can start thinking about Christmas and what can you do, it's always important to have some kind of a plan. Grieving people often experience lack of concentration. So the most important thing is we got to be like Santa Claus. We got to make a list. Because we're forgetful, we're confused, we don't remember what we did yesterday, let alone what we're supposed to do today. So we need to make a list and prioritize everything. And maybe instead of going to the malls, you might consider, we've all learned this already, that Amazon is a great place to get gifts and you don't have to fight the crowds. And maybe just give gifts like your favorite book or something that was a loved possession of the person you've lost. After my late husband died, he had a lot of shoes, and nice shoes. He had boots, he had work shoes. Anyway, he had a whole lot of shoes. So what I did is I planted in his shoes cactus, and then I took them to family members and to friends, and I gave that to them as a Christmas gift from us. Even though he was gone, I just thought it'd be fun to give something that was creative and different. So they got his shoes, his boots, whatever. But sometimes we have collections of things and we don't know what to do with them. So maybe we can collect them in a way and then give them in honor of the person that you've lost. So, and you might enclose a card explaining why the gift was chosen and maybe something of the background. Or maybe sometimes you just want a gift card, give someone a gift card and let them do with whatever they want with it. I just think we have to try to be honest with what we have and what we can do and not put ourselves in a place where we're spending a lot of money that we don't have. And I think you have to give permission to change family traditions. Have you always hosted the Christmas dinner? Are presents traditionally opened at Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day? Maybe you ought to sit down and talk to your family. Ask who would like to be the hostess this year and see if you can delegate. Maybe consider turning the table into a buffet and maybe nominating a single person to assist with the serving. Maybe consider reservations for going out to dinner. Let someone else be the chef. But it's a good idea ahead of time to check restaurants to see if they're open, because it's not good to decide you're going to go someplace and you get there and they're closed. Ask questions. Do I really enjoy doing this? Do other family members really enjoy doing this? I think it's important to redefine our expectations of yourself and others. Be honest with what you expect to be able to do. You know, have you involved your children or your grandchildren? I don't think we need to suffer from guilt because we are not able to meet everybody's expectations. We don't need to be a slave to the holiday clock. Maybe you ask your family, well, what do we do about stockings this year? We've always put them up. Should we put them up one more time? Maybe you would suggest to them that you do put them up one more time and you have family and friends write something special about the person that they remember and put it in their stocking. And then maybe when you get together for a dinner or Christmas Eve or Christmas or whatever, that you take down the stocking and you read all the memories that people have written about them. And then maybe you decide that this would be the last time that you have that stocking up and you retire it to a special box, maybe for someone else to have. But it's important to remember that we need to be kind to ourselves. We need to accept help. We need to enlist others to support you. We are so afraid of appearing dependent that we may reject sincere offers to help. Asking for help is not giving up, it's refusing to give up. So if your neighbor calls and says, I'm going to the store, can I get you some groceries? Or, I'm going to go to the mall. Is there something there I could pick up for you? And you can say, yes, you can do that for me. Give them the money that they need to have to buy whatever you need. But, we need to let other people help us. People want to help, they don't know what to do. So you've got to say, yes, I need some help. And then I think it's important to share your holidays with someone, anyone. You might buy a gift in honor of your loved one and maybe deliver it to the Salvation Army or a local mission. For the years after Joanne died, I would go and get an extra large shirt and I would find a very nice one. I would wrap it and I would take it down to either Salvation Army or some other place. And I said and on the ticket, it said, in memory of Dwayne Smith. And I said, I would like to have you give this shirt to someone who maybe will have no gifts or maybe just needs a new shirt. He's been wearing the same shirt for 3 months. It's important that we share something of our loved one with someone else. I try to tell people when they're in hospice that when their loved one dies, to find some shirts or blouses, depending on male or female, and to cut off the buttons. And I said, save them for the holiday season. And so when the first day of Christmas comes, go look where you collected your buttons and either put one in your pocket or put it in your wallet or put it in your purse, someplace where you know where it is. And sometime during the holiday season, maybe every day, maybe every hour, that you feel that button that reminds you of them. And you just feel it, and you just remember something wonderful about them. I just believe that we need to have small things that we can carry around that help us to remember to remember. And I think it's important to buy a gift for yourself. To me, from me. Believe it or not, after you have had a loved one die, if it's your husband or brother or sister, someone who was very generous to you, but they're no longer alive and they're not going to buy you a gift, that you save some of your money and you find something that you really, really want and then purchase it and have someone wrap it at the store if they still wrap, or have a friend wrap it and put it under your tree or whatever you're using for your celebration. And on Christmas morning, maybe when you're by yourself, no one else is around, or if you want to use it when you're with your family, have the opportunity to open your present to me from me. There's just something special about taking care of ourselves. One lady told me that after I shared that, her husband had died, and he always gave her wonderful gifts. And so she took my suggestion and she bought a string of pearls. She'd never had a string of pearls and she'd always wanted one. And so the family was getting together and they were unwrapping presents, and all the presents were finished. And there was this one box that was high up in the tree and it said, "To me, from me." And she told her son, who'd been distributing the gifts, "There's one more present." And he said, "Oh, where is it?" And she said, "Well, look up high in the tree." And there it was. And he said, "Well, it says, 'To me, from me.' Who's that?" She said, "It's me." And her daughters and her granddaughters went, "What?" She said, "I bought a present to me from me." And so they all gathered around her and she opened this beautiful string of pearls. And they all said, "What a wonderful idea. Maybe we'll do that next year too." But it's so important that we take the time to give a gift to ourselves that has meaning. It does help you walk through the holidays. And you know what? You have a right to have some fun. You know, when you have a day that's not so bad and you feel like doing something just for fun, then don't be afraid to do it or what other people will say if they see you laughing and having a good time. Laughter and joy are not disrespectful. And then I think it's important to buy a candle, a brand new candle in the colors of the person that you've lost. And on the first day of December, to find that candle, put it in a special place, and light it every day. And remind yourself that the light of their life is still shining in your hearts. And you will thank them daily for the gift of living that they have given you. There's just something about lighting a light. Now, if you can't have a real candle because of pets or whatever, just go find a beautiful one that's a LED light and just turn that on. I have decorated my house for Thanksgiving, and I have some special candles that I bought at Costco. And lots of nights when it gets pretty quiet in our house, I just go, there's a little thing that you just push and all the candles go on. And I'll just walk around and enjoy the light that they just bring to me in our home. And it just reminds me of the gift of life that Ron and I've had together. There is something powerful about remembering to remember. And then we just need to take one day at a time. You know, whatever you do, just take one day at a time. Because you may do things one way this year, and you find that next year you want to change it all and do something different. You have to remember that when the special days appear, it's not going to be as difficult as you anticipated. It's only 24 hours long. And so I thought that one of the things that I have learned is how important it is to give gifts that don't cost a cent. And I know that the gift of listening is very important, but you got to really listen. No interrupting, no daydreaming, no planning your response, just listening. And that doesn't cost a cent if you give that to someone, that you give them that gift of listening. How about the gift of affection? Be generous with appropriate hugs, kisses, pats on the back, and hand holding. Let these small actions demonstrate the love you have for family and friends. The gift of laughter. I just talked about that, but I think it's important to say, "I love to laugh with you." The gift of a written note. It can be simple. Thanks for the help. A brief handwritten note may be remembered for a lifetime, and it may even change a life. The gift of a compliment. A simple and sincere, "You look great in red. You did a super job." That was a wonderful meal. Whatever we can do to give a gift of compliment, it helps. How about the gift of a favor? Every day, go out of your way to do something kind. In our hospice program, there are several places that donate flowers to us, and the volunteers make them in beautiful bouquets, and they give them to the chaplains and whoever else wants to take them out. And I love that because I'll have this great big tub full of flowers, and they're all made into beautiful bouquets. And when I go to someone's home, as I knock on the door, I'll have the flowers behind my back and say, "I'm here." And then I pull out the flowers and say, "I have a little gift for you." And I think it's important to find some ways to do something kind. And then we all need solitude. There are times when we want nothing better than to be left alone. Be sensitive to those times and give yourself the gift of solitude. And then the last one is the gift of a cheerful disposition. The easiest way to feel good is to extend a kind word to someone. It's not really that hard to, when you see somebody, to say hi or thank you or it's good to see you, and just be the kind of a person that has a cheerful disposition. Even though your heart is aching, we can take the time to have that kind of a disposition. So my gift to you, and the gifts that don't cost a cent, have yourself the merriest Christmas by giving. Well, I hope you take one more step towards healing.